We might just get hit with the Rico.
Me Millie. Cause we in the field with them birds like we play for the Eagles. I'm on probation, so let me not talk what's illegal. Switch it up. Today I woke up with my drinker, she rich as a beetle. For my teachers that said I won't make it here, I spent a day with...
What's going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake 72 coming to you guys with a video right now. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Hope you had a good time, hung out with your loved ones, did whatever you had to do today. So to get this started, kind of want to go into the whole free agency process. I know it's still early. I know we have a few more weeks till free agency. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to make a big splash? Fuck no. But there is one guy. There is one guy that I really want in free agency. No, he's not a big name. No, he didn't have really a good year last year. Partially because of injury, partially because quarterback play was just really horrible. My free agent target for the Philadelphia Eagles of 2018 is John Brown. John Brown from NFL has been... The NFL has John Brown as a potential landing spot, and coming off for a really bad season. You know, nothing good. 477 yards, about 4 touchdowns, 32. He had 32 catches for 477 yards, so not great. But Carson Palmer, Drew Stanton, you know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? So John Brown has, came to the league, I think 2015, something like that. 2014, I think it was 2014 he came to the league, and he was a powerhouse. He's got only about 1,400 to 1,500 yards receiving in his career so far. 26 years old. John Brown is a deep threat. A young, pure, deep threat. Now, I know there's other guys. I know I've mentioned other guys on the free agency list for the deep threat. Now, you're going to ask me why not keep Torrey Smith for another year? Well, you let go of Torrey Smith, it's pretty much $5 million in dead cap space. Well, it's going to be 5 against the cap with Torrey Smith for next year. Which I know that it will be a lot more for other players, like a $10 million cap hit for Jason Peters, $11 million cap hit for Vinny Curry. Stuff like that will make a huge difference. But the one thing that we needed this year was a pure deep threat, not a Deshaun Jackson type deep threat, but someone that can literally really stretch the defense out a lot more than they really could. And Torrey Smith did that job. I love Torrey Smith, great guy, great personality, great mentality, great attitude, and played significantly well, mostly in the playoffs, because the regular season, it was just... You could say it was a consistency factor. I like Torrey Smith as a player too, so don't tell. I'm not saying that I don't want him on this team next year, because hey, if we end up, if we end up still having him next year, I have no problem with it at all. I'm just giving my own opinion about the one guy I do want in free agency. So yeah, I love this guy. Absolutely amazing. He's burnt us a good amount of time. John Brown is a true deep threat. Not a good year last year, but Torrey Smith, did he have a good year last year? No, he didn't even have. He actually did better than Torrey Smith last year, and Torrey Smith only had a little over 300 yards receiving last year. So yeah, it's been a tough road, but honestly, you know what? It's not like we had to go to him this year, because if you really look at it, between Zach Ertz, Nelson Agholor, Alshon Jeffrey, they all had over 7 touchdowns apiece, which makes a huge deal. So a lot goes into that factor, because there's barely teams that do that have 3 guys on the offense with over 7 touchdowns, especially receivers, guys that catch the damn ball and get it in the end zone. Very rare that happens. But this was one of those years that own statistics did not matter. Nobody was a crybaby. Nobody was like, give me the fucking ball, throw it to me. You only threw it to me twice, shit like that. Shit did not happen like that. This team was very, very selfless. All they cared about was everybody else and just getting that W, and that's all that mattered. And that's hence why we are Super Bowl 52 champions, Philadelphia Eagles. John Brown, I have to say, would be a great pickup. Number 1, he's younger. Number 2, I think he's a little bit smaller. But number 3, he with Carson Wentz and what he can do on that field, I think he can make any receiver look good. I'm not even kidding about that. Carson Wentz, everyone thought that everyone else made Carson Wentz better, but no. That's not the truth. Because when Peterson didn't have Nick Foles have a grasp of the under center Carson Wentz offense system that we all thought it was going to happen, didn't really look good. Besides the 4 touchdowns against the Giants, didn't look good against the Raiders. Didn't look good because we were barely doing the RPOs into full effect until the weeks went on after the Raiders game. And then playoff time was coming. I think that we need a young deep threat. I think we need a guy. Now, you know, I'm not saying like a Deshaun Jackson. I'm not saying get Deshaun Jackson because fuck that shit. He's going to turn 31. He's probably going to be 31 before the season starts. It is all about stretching out the defense. And I think John Brown could do that. And he's really, really fast. He's got great route running. If he has a quarterback that can throw to him, forget about it. And Carson Wentz would be that guy. The way Carson Wentz. So I don't want to hear in the comments like, oh, what if he's not healthy? What if he's not ready for week 1? Trust me, fellas. Why don't you guys listen to me from last season? Remember last offseason when everyone was flipping the fuck out over everybody wouldn't stop dreaming about, you know, living in the fucking past of Negadelphia and all this bullshit with this fucking team. And what did I tell you guys? I told you guys to sit tight, let it flow out. We're going to do fine. Everyone, Doug Pearson's going to do good. We'll see what happens. You understand? You guys got to listen to me sometimes, okay? Because honestly, I'm not always going to be, look, if there's something wrong, I'm going to fucking say it. And if there's something positive, I'm going to say it too. But this is very positive going into this offseason so far. Is when we get all these moves and what happens in this offseason, yeah, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen. But until then, be positive, especially heading into free agency right now, because a lot of moves can happen, okay? Not big splashes. A big splash would be a trade, like a trading Vinny Curry, trading Kendricks for something nice, and accumulating picks or players. So, John Brown would be a perfect fit. Number one, because his market's not high because didn't really have a good year last year at all. And we can guess, like I said before, quarterback play was horrible. The team was just horrible. They lost a running back for the season. They brought Adrian Peterson in. It was just a whole. They really couldn't find themselves. Larry Fitzgerald wasn't. You know what I mean? It was a whole thing with him in his last year, which is not anymore because he's gonna play another year. But John Brown, man, on this Eagles team would be a perfect fit. Now, there's guys that we can go after. There could be Taylor Gabriel from the Falcons, Paul Richardson from the Seattle Seahawks, Allen Robinson from the Jaguars. Plenty of guys you could really get a grasp on. But it all depends. It depends on, do they want to prove themselves in Philadelphia? I see so many players wanting to play for this team over the next decade to probably more than that, to play with this quarterback that we have right now. And honestly, it is a good feeling. Carson Wentz, the way he can extend plays on his feet. If you just think, if you were this close, you get a reliable deep threat that can literally beat anybody. This is the guy you want to get. The guy you want to get that's not going to be expensive. That's not a risk. It can be a risk reward. And don't get Jordan Matthews was on this list too. Do not get Jordan Matthews. Please don't. I don't want to reunite with Jordan Matthews. We're done with Jordan Matthews. There's nothing. He's a bad slot receiver. No more. The guy was injury prone as soon as he left here. He fucked up 2 games for the Bills, and it hasn't been the same since, and it's just been a damn mess. I don't want to reunite with any old Eagles. Shit's fucking done. New era starts, and that's it. But you get a deep threat like John Brown on this team. This is who I want in free agency, okay? This might change over the next few weeks. This might change, but John Brown could do very well in Philadelphia. Even if it's a prove-it deal, even if it's something just to say, hey, let's see what he can do. Put him on the field. Let's see what he can do with Carson Wentz. Because John Brown, he's got the feet. He's got the route running. He's got the catching ability is ridiculous. He can pretty much catch anything. He can catch a ball a millimeter away from the sideline. This guy is absolutely amazing. If that ball's in the right spot, it's dead on, it's flat on. We can get this shit done with him. So this is one of my targets, probably my one ultimate target in free agency, because I wanted a deep threat, you know, because Torrey Smith only got the 3 year, 16 mil, so he was only getting about, you know, 5 against the cap this year. So it's not a horrible loss getting rid of him. But I think we could do better. I think we can upgrade better at that position. I think we need someone younger. I think we need someone that has a high capability of beating, you know, stretching out a whole defense. It leaves Zach Ertz wide open. That leaves Alshon Jeffrey wide open. And hell yeah, it leaves Nelson Agholor open, or to have a damn better year than he's had, his best year this year with over 700 yards receiving. So, John Brown to the Eagles, guys. What do you think? Let me know. And hey, doesn't hurt to have your own opinion. John Brown to the Eagles sounds pretty damn good to me. I really like this. So if you guys agree with me, you guys disagree, just let me know in the comments section. I really want to hear all you guys have to say about this. So that's all I really got to say about, guys. I'll have some more videos out for you. Taylor Hart gets signed to the fucking Eagles on a 2-year deal. Bryce Tregg signs a 2-year deal. Taylor Hart gets on this team. Again, Taylor Hart's, you know, the tackle that turned from defensive end turned tackle sign, which Taylor Hart sucks anyway, so I don't really give a fuck about Taylor Hart. Is back on the roster to, you know, try to get a starting spot, which ain't gonna fucking happen. Depth-wise, depth moves or whatever, which he's probably not gonna make the team anyway. And number 2 of this whole thing is that I could see the Eagles keeping 6 receivers on this team. You got Alshon Jeffrey, Mack Hollins, Nelson Agholor, Bryce Tregg is another one. He signed a 2-year deal recently, which is not bad. He wasn't really a bad pickup, but, you know, got hurt with the 49ers, came over here, and, you know, we had to use him last year because we had no receivers. He caught a few passes here and there. He's got the speed, but maybe he could beat Shelton Gibson. Shelton Gibson and Bryce Tregg are probably going to be neck and neck as competition next year, so that should be nice to see. Greg Ward as well. He's back on the practice squad. So don't want to get into everything about OTAs and all that shit, but John Brown, that's probably one of my top picks going into free agency, and hopefully he wants to come in here on a prove-it deal, and if not, he could go fucking sign with the Bears or go sign with the Browns and get paid for a 477-yard season, so no thanks. But John Brown wants to the Eagles. That's what I want. I think we need to go younger at deep threat. I know that's not the important thing, but we could sign depth signings and all that in free agency later on in the month, so it doesn't have to be on the first day of free agency. We could be later on. So we'll see what happens, but John Brown to the Eagles is what I want, and that's about it. So I will see you guys later. Joey Shake 72 out. Fly, Eagles fly. Shake, squad up. See you guys later. Peace.